Let's take a quick ride. Poorly designed cup holders are annoying. There are parts of Norfolk that I'm really digging. The easy access to water is sensational. It's a little bit more city than I want in this part of my life, which is ironic as I lived in New York City for a long, long time. But I don't want to talk about how beautiful Norfolk is. I wanted to get into the back of my van, but that's not actually going to work. Pulled back a little too far. I want to talk about NOLS. Okay, but I wanted to talk about NOLS, and if you've been paying attention to this channel, you know that I did a NOLS sailing course just before the pandemic started, so I think it was February 2020. Literally came back and everything got locked down. And did a sailing instructor course in December, just this past December, and I'm headed back to NOLS, Alaska in a month, less than a month, 3 weeks. And so I want to talk about that and why, if you want to get better in the outdoors, you should think about doing a NOLS course too. Okay, but before I talk about why I think you should do a NOLS course, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, what everyone's big complaint is going to be, which is it's so much money to do a NOLS course. And the fact is that it really isn't that much money. So if you look at like the most popular NOLS courses, they are 30-day backpacking courses, which run between $5,000 and $6,000. And that sounds like a lot of money. Call it $6,000 for 30 days. But if you think about it like this, that's less than $200 a day. One of the things I don't like about Norfolk is there is always air traffic. It's less than $200 a day, and that includes all of your food. And so think about going to Alaska for 30 days, you would spend way more than $5,000, and you're in Alaska. But that's not the best part about doing a NOLS course. So before I get into the meat of this, I want to do a little disclaimer. NOLS does not pay me for this. NOLS did not ask me to do this. I think this is just a really good thing. My MO on this channel is to get people active in the outdoors. And if you are interested in doing like overnights, but feel like you're a little scared to do it the first time, if you feel like you're overwhelmed by the things you need to learn, and so you really can't get started in the outdoors, if you feel like you are doing well but just not doing great, you feel like there's things you are missing, all of those are good reasons to do a NOLS course. I think the single biggest reason you should do a NOLS course is that it will amplify your skill set in a relatively short amount of time. But first I want to talk about some things that have to do with NOLS that'll give you a little bit about my perspective with NOLS. I did my first course in the year 2000. It was a 14 or 16-day kayaking in Alaska course, which is what gave me my addiction to kayaking in Alaska. And I've been back to Alaska many times. In 2006, I became a NOLS kayaking instructor. I worked a handful of courses for a few years. I think I worked NOLS field courses till 2009 when I did my wilderness medicine instructor course, and then started working for NOLS Wilderness Medicine and stopped working for NOLS Expeditions. And worked hard with NOLS Wilderness Medicine straight through today. I took 2 years off, almost 2 years off for the pandemic. but am a lead instructor, a relatively senior lead instructor for NOLS Wilderness Medicine. And then I decided I wanted to slide back into field stuff, which is what I'm working on now. It's also important to understand sort of the hierarchy of NOLS, is that if you work for NOLS, there are really 3 ways you can do it. You can work as NOLS in-town staff. These are the unsung heroes of NOLS. They are underpaid, they are overworked, they do all of the hard work. They make sure your gear is ready to go, your food is ready to go, they get you to and from your course start. They help you resupply, they solve all of the problems, they keep instructors booked for courses, they deal with evacuations, they do all of the nuts and bolts that no one ever sees. They work really hard and they're really good at their jobs, and they don't get any glory, and they also don't get paid a whole lot. A lot of those people become field instructors. But I can't say enough about NOLS in-town staff. They are excellent. They have amazing knowledge bases. They are awesome. Next are instructors like me. I'm a NOLS Wilderness Medicine instructor. NOLS Wilderness Medicine instructors, in general, I don't think get a whole lot of glory. We do get paid really well, though. So it pays well. You don't get a lot of glory, but NOLS Wilderness Medicine courses make a lot of money for NOLS. NOLS runs way more wilderness medicine courses than they do field courses, expedition courses. I am assuming that it's NOLS Wilderness Medicine that is keeping everything else going fluidly and easily, because they make a lot of money. There are always wilderness medicine courses running. And then there are NOLS field courses, or also called NOLS expeditions. And the field courses are generally 30 days, longer than that, but there are 30-day courses. I think there are 90-day courses. There are year-long courses like a year in Patagonia, things like that. And there are 8 or 9-day courses, which is what my wife Tracy and I did for our first sailing courses. And so there are shorter courses, but the bulk of NOLS field courses are run in the 30, 60, 90-day range. And that's the kind of course that I'm talking about, the 30-day backpacking course. The instructors that work those courses, and I should stress, I am not one of those instructors. When I worked NOLS Field or NOLS Expeditions, I think the name changed over the course of the years that I've been with NOLS, I dabbled in those courses. And my goal is to dabble again, is to do 1 a year. But a lot of people that work those courses work them all the time and literally spend years in the outdoors teaching those courses. And they are the best instructors I have ever seen. So I did 2 NOLS courses as a student in the past 2 years. Both times I was completely blown away by the quality of the instructors. Left the courses going, man, I'm still not the instructor I want to be, and these folks are the instructor types that I want to be. I can't teach it 365 days a year the way that they are. So I think I'm a good NOLS Wilderness Medicine instructor. I think I'm a great paddling instructor. I'm an okay paddler, but I think I'm a great paddling instructor, and that's sort of why I want to slide back in. So you are getting amazing instruction from NOLS, and that is probably the biggest and most important thing. But here is how I use a NOLS course. Your weird transition for the day is the spinning table in my van. So gosh, man, I'm gonna feel old right now. In the mid to late 80s, yeah, like 88, I started rock climbing. And in 1988, there was no such thing as a rock gym. So I taught myself how to rock climb, which in retrospect was really stupid. And so when 1998, 99 came around, and I decided that I wanted to get more serious about kayaking, I decided I was not gonna teach myself. And so I went to NOLS for I think it was a 16-day, 23 and over kayaking course in Prince William Sound, and left there with the basis for my ability to paddle a kayak. I took it significantly further than that, but I got a huge jump in skill set in terms of my ability to live outside, my ability to stay comfortable in lousy weather, because Alaska is famous for lousy weather, and my ability to spend all day in a kayak. Part of that is a lot of people need to get out of a boat every couple hours to go to the bathroom and stretch their legs, things like that. I don't have to get out of a boat. I'll stay in a boat for 12 hours. I don't care. But it's also the ability to be warm and comfortable and sort of manage the bad environment that is a NOLS course. When I came back from NOLS, I saw two things. One of them I was not surprised about. One of them I was very surprised about. The first thing that I discovered was I had a huge boost in my confidence in sort of managing the outdoors and managing myself in the outdoors. When I decided to slide into teaching, it was easy because I knew that I could focus on the teaching because I didn't have to think about the outdoor stuff. NOLS gave me an incredible foundation and a boost in my skill set. And my comfort in the outdoors. So that helped me amazingly. The other thing that I did not think about was when the instructors started teaching us the leadership curriculum, I was like, oh right, National Outdoor Leadership School. There is a leadership curriculum, and those leader of the day skills certainly helped me in the outdoors. But what I didn't anticipate was how much it helped me in my life, particularly at work. Is those leadership skills and the ability to identify when someone knows what they're doing, like when your boss knows what they're doing or when your boss is like scared and nervous and bluffing. It was easy then to identify because of my experience in sort of leadership training with NOLS. I use those leadership skills all the time, most of the time without thinking about it, but all the time. Came back with that skill set sort of ingrained in the way that I do things. That was the unforeseen benefit of a NOLS course. So if you're thinking, I need to ramp up my outdoor skill, I want to be able to do great trips in the outdoors, this is a great way to do it. And it's pretty affordable in the scheme of things. And you'll learn a ton from your instructors. You'll also learn a ton from your co-students, just seeing the way other people do stuff in the outdoors. So that's my 5-minute, you should think about doing a NOLS course if you want to ramp up your skill set. It is a fast, easy way, and you'll do it someplace amazing and beautiful. And hey, if you're thinking about it, you should also take a wilderness medicine course. You're going to use those skills all the time. Come and see me for those. If you found this interesting, if this was helpful, hit like, hit subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would help this channel out a lot. Otherwise, I'll see you outside.
Look for everything unseated if we can now.
Okay, I got the vision.